All right, shalom. And let me get straight into this lesson. But the so-called white race, right? They call themselves by many names, right? The British, the Australians, the Spanish, the French, the Grecians. You know what I'm saying? The Romans, so-called white people, the Jewish, right? Are all Edomites, right? I'm gonna get into this video that's gonna go into that history. But what you're seeing right here in this picture is very powerful. It's very condemning information. As if you were a detective, you have to do an investigation, right, to come to a conclusion of what's going on. So you've been given everything in this life, right, through a so-called white person perspective, right? The history, right? The religion, right? The culture, right? The fashion. Everything's been through a culture assimilation, right? So you're looking at this picture right here. I'm gonna get into this other picture. Then I'm gonna get into this video. But white people was created in 1681, the concept of so-called white people. And that's something that the average person has no knowledge of, right? Until the truth came back into the earth. We didn't know this information, right? And you got biblical nationalities that are not used today that all nations on this earth descend from, including what you know as so-called white people, right? They Edomites. Their forefather is this man named Esau, Edumb, Esau Edom. And what they have done is lied to you, created a monetary system, right? Their descendants control this world. That's what you don't know, right? And they have called itself under these pseudo nationalities or ethnicities. So you won't find out who they were. Right here at the top to the left. This is where the so-called white race comes from. Mount Seir is in the Bible. I'm gonna show you that. And you look at the way that that architecture is built. They carved inside of these mountains in Mount Seir, mountain of Seir. Right? You go to the top left, you look at the Rome, the same architecture, same way they built. That's how you know that's a context clue, right? That this will be the same people. Look at Great Britain, which America came out of Great Britain, right? And then you got Washington, D.C., right? All these look the same, right? But they go back to Mount Seir, right? Let's go here, right? So to your left, at the very top, you see Mount Seir, mountain of Seir, right? You see to the top, towards the middle, Greece. You see Rome, you see Spain, you see France, you see Germany, you see Russia, you see Great Britain, you see the United States. These are the kingdoms of Esau Edom, right? Edomites that's relabeled themselves as white Americans, Australians, Caucasians, Jewish, right? French, the Dutch, so on and so forth. All right. So let me get into this video. Give me 1 second. So the Bible that you say you believe in is about two main nations, right? That's what this whole existence that you call life is all about, right? And you have the other nations that's a part of this movie as well. But the two main nations are Edomites, Edom, and Jacob, which is the same as Israel. That's how you get the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob later got his name changed to Israel, Yasha'Allah in the Hebrew tongue. And you got Edumb, will be Edom, so-called white people today, right? And Edom means red because their blood shows forth through their skin. They're not the color white. And as you're seeing, this Edomite-looking guy right here, which his skin is not the color white, right? White people is a social construct, and I'm going to keep saying it until you come out of that brainwash. And this is where the so-called white people originated from. So check this out. Look at that building behind him.
Many years. It was also a safe place in the biblical thought in terms of who lived here. This was the home of Esau and his descendants, the Edomites. When Esau and his brother Jacob separated, and their flocks grew too big, and actually they weren't that friendly as brothers anyway, so it was maybe better to be apart for a while.
That's where that ancient hatred comes from. It's ancient. It comes way back into the Bible. That's why you have something called the KKK, right? And many other of these groups that hate you, Jakes, right? So look at look at that architecture behind it, the way it's carved inside of this mountain, right? This is the same people doing the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's get into these scriptures. Let's get into Obadiah chapter 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, concerning Edom, the so-called white people today. They call themselves Jewish, French, Spanish, the Australians, white, Americans, Caucasians, so on and so forth. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. That's his third war's war that's coming, World War III, right? 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. So it's becoming common knowledge that America is one of the most evilest kingdoms that's ever been erected, right? 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. So the mascot for the so-called white race, where you go into France, you go into Spain, Greece, Rome, America, is the eagle. If you look up the national animal for the United States, it'll be the eagle. Or you can say America. You look up the national animal that was in the Roman Empire was the eagle. And Mount Seir, in this picture that I first showed you, it's 2 eagles that's broken off, right? Matter of fact, let me show you this. Right, and this is that relic right here in the Library of Congress. Your government knows what's going on. It says Petra, it means rock. It says Roman Eagle and Petra Museum. So that's going back to Mount Seir. Right here is what I'm talking about. Right on top of this, that's what you saw in that video. In the background, Edomite was at this place. So you said the very top of this building, I'm sorry, at the very top of this mountain is they carved into it, one to the right and one to the left, them 2 eagles. You look on a Federal Reserve building, it's an eagle. You look on the back of a dollar bill, it's an eagle. You look on the back of a quarter, it's an eagle. You look at all the government buildings and the government entities, it's always an eagle. The United States of the Presidential Seal, the United States of Defense, United States of Secretary of State, so on and so forth, right? Let's go back here. So this would be these clues, context clues, who we would use to identify who is the Edomites today, right? So let's jump down to 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. So the so-called white man got a God complex. That's why he whitewashed history. That's why he tell you everything that's great, he did it, right? He took all the glory and all the attributes from us and put them on himself, right? Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. So the original habitation, where they come from, is in the clefts of the rocks. You go look at Mount Seir, you're going to see holes in the mountain where they dwelled at, right? Okay? Whose habitation is high. It said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? Salakia. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. So they go to eagle, right? The eagle in Esau, the Edomites, they descendants is a marriage. Every time you see the eagle, they behind it, right? Let me jump down. Okay, so let's go here. I want to go to Jeremiah real quick, 49:16. This is a heavy scripture. It is going into the destruction of America. It says, Jeremiah 49:16, thy temperableness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, going back to Edomites, the so-called white people today. O thou that dwellers in the clefts of the rock. So it's proven that it's the precept of Obadiah, right? That holdest the height of the hill, Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, right? That's talking about the space program, right? Space Force and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's military, all that. They got the military branch called the Space Force, right? And going back into this devil pride too. It's I would bring thee down from thence, said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Right? So let's go to 17 to prove it's talking about Edom. It says, where also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that go by it shall be astonished and shall hiss as the plagues thereof. All right, let's keep going. 18. As the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. So what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? They were destroyed by fire and brimstone. There's going to be these missiles coming to America to destroy this place. Is going to happen on a grand scale. It's going to be something that you can't comprehend. And you're going to have the so-called UFOs shooting down on this place like in the movie Independence Day, where they was on top of that rooftop, right? In the neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. No man shall abide there, neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it. Right? So let me jump down. Salakia. Matter of fact, I think I hit the scriptures I want to hit, because this is the judgment of Esau Edom, which is, matter of fact, let's go pull this precept to make that connection from Babylon and Edomites. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. So that was 70 AD when they put an end to our you know what I'm saying, kingdom, right? They completely decimated the nation of Israel, you know what I'm saying, the southern kingdom. That's 70 AD. All right. Psalms 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon. So it's not talking about the Neo Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar. It's talking about your daughter comes after you. So yeah, if a mother have a daughter, that daughter is after the mother. So daughter of Babylon, which would be America, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee, and thou hast served us. So you see Edom and the daughter of Babylon in the same breath, so to speak, right? So they go to show you that Edom and Babylon, that goes that connection, that the people that be running Babylon, which would be America, which would be a world power, right? They have control over the financial system and the military system, right? Which would be America. This is Babylon, right? Let's go here. It says Genesis 36 and 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, right? Esau is Edom, as you saw in the building, you know what I'm saying, in the way they built, right? Or the way they, would do their architecture. It's the same as Mount Seir. That's how we know it's the same people, right? And then what, the eagle. Then you got everything else. When you add everything else together, let's go here. It says Mount Seir. It says in the Bible, Mount Seir is a mountainous region, right? Going back to those, they dwell in the clefts of the rocks. It says in northwest part of Edom, which is located southeast of the kingdom of Judah and between the Dead Sea and the Gulf Aqaba. The Edomites, the descendants of Esau, the Hebrew patriarch Isaac's eldest son, primarily lived in the area of Mount Seir. The name Edom comes from the Hebrew word meaning red, Adumb, right? So there you go. Let's making all this make sense. But the Edomites, the ones that's currently in control, right? And they get ready to come out of their rulership, right? Because Esau is the end of the world, meaning the Edomites, the so-called white people, the J people. And Jacob, which would be the kingdom of Israel, will be the next kingdom that's going to rule on this earth. That's the kingdom of heaven, right? Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat Kodash. Shalom.